Alright, we're gonna make dough. We're gonna go in, we're gonna grab us some wet yeast. Clean container, wet yeast. Wet yeast is a better yeast than dry yeast. All right, thank you, sir. Okay. Put over here. Who left this lid open? All right. A little sugar. Boom. Make sure your hands are properly washed. According to the health code, it'd be 20 seconds of rubbing your hands together. All right. Yeah. Dry your hands. Oops, missed. That's why I'm in the restaurant business, not playing basketball. Alright, so you're going to take your wet yeast and you're going to take your sugar. And we are going to mix it up until it becomes a liquid. Liquid. This is the best way to make it. Got all these Italians going, nah, you gotta make it like this, you gotta do this. No, man, that's not how you do it. I'm gonna show you how you make it. I'm part German and part Italian, that's why I know what the hell I'm doing. Right, Scott?
Yeah.
Alright, so you're gonna mix your sugar and yeast, and you're gonna keep mixing it until it becomes a liquid. And within seconds, boom, it's liquid. I do that because your yeast is feeding off of the sugar. So your yeast becomes activated, boom, like that. Yeah, baby, look at that. Alright, get all these clumps all broken up. Alright, I used to add hot water, real hot water, maybe 110 degree water, but I don't do that anymore. I found adding cold water is fine because your dough needs to sit at least 24 hours before you use it. But if you need the dough immediately, one, it ain't gonna work immediately. You need it to sit for a few hours so that it rises. But if you want to use it the same day, I do suggest the warm water because it'll help the yeast a little bit better when it's warm. The cold will keep it to where the dough balls don't expand too big and become no good because they're so blown up that you can't use them anymore. Cold water will keep those dough balls nice and tight, and then when you're ready to use them, they're perfect. So we're going to go cold water here. Some people will let their yeast sit. Usually when you're letting your yeast sit, it is a dry yeast. That's why it needs to sit. Wet yeast is great yeast. I wouldn't use anything else. Alright, you're going to take this, put this baby together. And the other thing you're going to do is visit the little dishwasher guy, Mr. Lee.
Who's little?
I don't know why I said little.
I'm little there.
Big guy. And we're going to clean this bowl out. This bowl is already clean, but sitting out here in the middle of nowhere, I want to make sure nothing fell in it and that it is definitely clean before I make my dough. Things will fall in there accidentally. And then I'm going to utilize that rag to clean this area. All right. So you have your sugar, yeast, and water. Sorry. I'm going to pour it in there. Beautiful, huh? And then we're going to get the rest of the water we're going to need. So we're going to use approximately 75 pounds of flour. We use about 20 quarts total of water. And you want to make sure it's fairly accurate. All right. All right. Thanks, sir. Flour, Pillsbury, so strong, special, high gluten, great stuff. All right. And what you want to make sure is the bag doesn't break and go into the mix. So I'm shaking this camera up too much. Knife. Can I use this, sir? If you do chicken on there, make sure we clean that off. Cloudy. On a cloudy day. Alright, so salt I'm putting in separately because the salt will kill the yeast and the sugar feeds the yeast. So by separating it, I think it does just a little bit better job. Salt in there, and then we're going to use about 4 scoops. Two, 3, 4. All right. Make sure this gets clean for me, please. Lock it down. All right, when we start mixing, I think the most critical part of this is we need to add oil. And I think if you add the oil at the right time, it comes out perfect. So what time do we add the oil? About a minute. Let's get this mixed up. I want it to not mix too much. I want it to still be powdery when I add that. Alright, so now it's starting to mix good. We still got a lot of powder in there. What about now? Alright, we're going to add just a little bit of oil. It's a lot of oil. Yeah, not really. It's the perfect amount. Oil's added. We got 8 minutes on timer. And then we're going to let this go ahead and mix for 8 minutes.
7.5.